Because singing in Vegas is like singing in hell. Okay. All right, so now sit down. Don't sit down, it's gonna be fun, just sit down. All right, so Sonny and I were a huge hit from 1965 to about 1967. Yes. And then all of a sudden, we were out of work and out of money, and we owed the government $275,000. Yeah, in taxes. Okay, so Donald. So Son said, "Give me 2 years," and this is all the truth. Son said, "Give me 2 years, and we will be bigger than we ever were." And I had nothing else to do, so I went along with him like I always did. So I put on a gown and he put on a tux, and we went and started at the bottom in these dive clubs, terrible. And when we went there, people hated us. And so we did 2 shows a night, 7 nights a week. We cooked in our room, we cooked for our band, which was illegal in the places we stayed in, like Motel 6. But so what happened was, at the dinner show, people just were eating and didn't care what we were. But in the late show, the 12 o'clock show, all 5 people that came hated us, and we had to work for them, but they didn't clap and they were drunk. So I started trying to make the band laugh. And then Sonny thought it was great, so we did it. So what we did for like 2 years turned out to be our monologues on the Sonny and Cher show. And so that's how I learned to do it, and that's how I've done it on all my tours, but somehow I just couldn't find it right now. I just couldn't find a way to do it. So I thought, since I didn't have something fabulous, I would tell you about the 3 days it took me to turn 40. Okay? All right, it's kind of weird, but so it was the night of the 19th, late, and I was at my favorite club called Heartbreak. It was in Manhattan, and I was sitting on the top of a banquette, and I was drinking a beer, and I was thinking, I'm so hot, and look at my bod, and I'm cheated death. I'm not 40, I'm 10. So I was so excited. Yeah, and then there's now. Okay, so, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just thinking, this is so great, and put my skirt up higher, and I turn over, and I went, oh my God. And I see like the cutest guy ever. Yeah. If I'd been a cartoon character, like if I'd been, I can't even think. Okay, if I'd been Bugs Bunny, my eyes would have gone out like that. His name was Robert Camilletti, and I'm sitting there, and Paulette's right next to me, my friend Paulette, and I just go, I grab her arm and I go, Polly, don't look, but there's the cutest guy over there. And of course she goes. So I hit her, and I also squeezed her arm really tight so she got a bruise. And so he and I were kind of running around each other all night, but then I got bored and I had to go home. So I go home, and I wake up in the morning, and I'm fully 40. And the director of Witches of Eastwood calls, and he says, no, it gets worse. He says, I don't want you, Jack doesn't think you're sexy, and you're too old. Yeah. And so, hello, 40. So, and tears are like down my eyes, like down my cheeks, like onto my dress, or nightgown, or whatever I was wearing. Or whatever I wasn't wearing, I don't even remember. So I'm crying, but I'm like biting the inside of my cheek because I don't want this idiot to know that I'm upset. Clearly I'm upset. So at that point, my kids come in. I'm staying in my friend's hotel. My kids come in with a huge cake and 2 bellboys, and they start to sing happy birthday. And so I'm crying and laughing and saying, oh my God, I'm so happy, you guys are so perfect, and it's a wonderful day, and my birthday, and it's great. And then they leave, and I just am sobbing. So, all right, so my friend has been letting me stay in his hotel. There's a reason. but you won't think it's funny, but I do. My friend owned Studio 54, and he had gone to jail. And when he got out of jail, I was one of the few people that said, I don't care. So we were hanging out and everything, so he let me run up a $28,000 bill. Yeah, and I didn't have the money. And I kept thinking, he's just gonna say something soon. You know, I mean, how good of friends can we be? We were together. So, anyway, so, come back, fade back, roll it back. David Letterman's show had been asking me for years to come on, and I just didn't want to because even though I thought Dave was really talented, sometimes if he didn't like the guest, he could be really mean. So I just thought, screw that, I'm not doing it. Not that I was afraid. She remembered and spit his ass out. And except we're really close friends. Now, okay, so they just happened to call. Somebody phoned out and they said, would you do the show? And I said, yes, for $28,000. And they said, we don't do that, we pay scale. And I went, well then I won't be coming, get somebody else. You know, so they called back in about 15 minutes and they said, okay, you're doing it. Okay, fine, I'm thinking, phew. So then the producer kind of says out of nowhere, you know, we've wanted you on this show forever, and why haven't you come on? So I said, I just repeated my little story that I just told you, and I ended it with, because I thought Dave was an asshole. All right, so fade out, fade in, I'm on my way to the show. I get on the show, I'm in kind of like leggings and a big blouse. I don't know, I didn't even care. It was like short hair, makeup-ish. And I get there and I'm sitting down and it's going kind of good, you know. And then Dave looks at me and he goes, so Cher, why haven't you ever come on my show before? And I'm thinking, he knows. The guy told him, he knows. I've got two choices. I can lie and spend this whole interview just wanting to claw my face off, or I can tell him this truth that, what do you mean? You're gonna say that? And as I'm doing this, I see these words coming out of my mouth, like they're in letters, okay? And I'm going, because I thought, and then asshole just comes running out. and then Dave says, because she thought I was an awfully nice guy. And so he and I laughed, and it traumatized him for a year. And then we became really friends, and I just love him, I adore him. So that was then, and this is now. And yeah, it's like a 9. So that was then, this is now. The other day, I did a 5-minute plank. For those planksters out there, you're gonna know how tough that was. So, I have something to say. I'm 71. And I have one question. What is your granny doing tonight?
Sorry, making that, that's enough, I'm afraid.